My name is Brad, Supercoach Pro. Today we're doing a round 20 team review / around 24 Supercoach preview, and it is the last week of the round, so of the season. Sorry, we moved up some spots. We were into now 6,868, and went up 783 spots. So had a terrible start, which I've said all season, and tried to play catch up, which has been pretty hard. But and even content has dropped off a little bit, just doing one video per week, as after round 14, round 15, around the buys, people start to not watch, so it makes it a little bit pointless to do 2 videos a week if there's not enough views and not enough likes and interactions. So people start to run out of trades and always interested in this game pretty quickly during the middle of the season. So how my side scored last week was not too bad. I think I just undid all my changes then, and the back line was really solid. As you can see, they have been pretty much all year. Will Day now got a 98 average, so that's not too bad from him since bringing him in. Dawson 116, Stewart 113. I thought these guys would be about the same, roughly. Sinclair, I feel, has been pretty disappointing this year with the 60s he's dropped in between his 100s. And Sheezel's probably a guy to start next season. If you saw the potty of me and Steve that I uploaded this afternoon. And Chincotta, he's just a rookie that I've had to play this season. I was one move too late on this Dacos one. I got Mitchell in the week that Dacos got injured. And I could have actually went Dacos to Sicily or something like that. And so I traded too early in round 20 or 21, I think, when I had 3 or 4 weeks to go. Should have held off for one more week, and that's a hindsight moment that you can't just read. Now, I'm not going to VC Merit tonight. I probably just want to watch all the games and see what the pass score is for a VC. So I'll probably VC Laird because he's got a good scoring history against West Coast. And then, probably just take a punt on anyone here. Maybe Gordon against Melbourne, or potentially Dunkley, or I could just VC Bont, but they are playing at the Cattery. So I'm a little bit undecided if I sort of just straight up even, Collingwood midfield isn't that great. Still score a fair bit against. So maybe I could hope that Merritt does something over 130. But I just feel like Essendon going to get smashed tonight. So, that feels a little bit safer going VC Merritt into C Laird. Or could we have a look at the history of Gordon to see if he is a viable option? He's not really, because he's only really broken out this year, is he? His price says otherwise. I feel worried about one of these 2 boys getting tagged, so it's not really worth me flipping something on that. Sheezel against North. I want a sort of a better pick than that too. Marshall would be a little bit left field because no one would be really going there, would they, against Brisbane? Doesn't got the scoring history against Oscar McInerney. And then there's just a lot of left field things. So at the moment, I just feel like Laird's probably got the highest ceiling against West Coast. I'm tossing up whether to even go VC Bont, but we know Bont can have a hot start then die off. So you're really risking it by VCing Bont, because then you've got to sort of captain someone else anyway. So how do I feel? Let's see Merritt's scoring history. Maybe I'll talk myself into something stranger. So he's got really good scoring history against the Pies. He's got a 133, 123, and 116. It's just his last 2 games have been really under par, haven't they? 96 and 99. So that worries me because this is not playing good footy. Could you go elsewhere, like a Tom Stewart, potentially? Let's not captain him, or else I'm stuffed. So at this stage, I just feel better with VCing Laird, seeing what the pass scorers are from an English score, and then work my way around how English scored actually would be the smarter option. And then if I had to see a game, probably Rosie feels good against Richmond. I think Richmond will put the Q in the rack. Rosie's a good one. I don't know how I feel about Tom Green against the Blues. Does he score well against them? No. Doesn't. So probably just go Laird into Rosie as a bit of a pod. See what my side's looking like. And then tonight I'll put the E on Mitchell. I don't know why the optimize button does these things, but Cameron's on field. I don't want to mess that up. And not even going to emergency him. So, excuse me. Marrick's an emergency. Keys can come on the field. Now, if Mitchell doesn't get subbed out, which I just have a feeling he's going to get subbed out if they start pumping him, I'll leave Keys to be if Mitchell is below 80 score. If he scores 80, I'm probably keeping Mitchell's score, to be honest with you. And the side's been pretty solid all year. Made a few bad mistakes. If you want to have a look at the podcast that I did with Steve, I might do a bit of more in-depth video into how my season went trade by trade and things I can work on and whatnot. And the midfield I've been pretty happy with all year, but bearing M8 really. I feel like most people sort of have Callum Mills there or a speculative pick that hasn't really paid off dividends. I just feel like a lot of primos haven't come down to a reasonable price, and we've been paying overs for 700k players that we thought would never come down. Apart from English, everyone sort of hit a wall at some point that you could have picked them up from. But it's been really hard to bring in players. I'm obviously fielding Dacos on the bench like most of you are. Well, depth is okay, but just hasn't gone the right way. Like Tom Mitchell was meant to be a really brilliant pick, but he just keeps getting subbed out of games. He's been sort of like that safe 100 was while I was bringing him in. Jeremy Cameron just never paid off. He was averaging 98 before I brought him in, and then just went pear-shaped. We'll go into that at some other stage. But Bont's been my saviour every week, VCing, seeing. I actually seed him. I put the VC or C on Bont. Either way, I got that 162 doubled. And that really helped my week this week, going up a little bit. If I can reach top 6K, that'd be nice. Not as good as 1.2K last year or whatever it was. But I think we'll bounce back. I've learned a few things this year, and we'll get bigger and stronger in this game, as you do in any game, I guess. And then my rucks, I probably shouldn't have sold English, but Briggs was too hard to pass up at 250k to buy in a primo and make money off English. English averaging like 130, so I am missing 20 points a week since doing this trade about 10 weeks ago, so I have lost about 200 points. I'm not sure if I've made that up in any other line, but that's irrelevant at this point. I'll work that out some other time. Forward line's been pretty stock standard. I mean, most of you have the similar forward line or a McRae there, or at some point. I feel like at least 4 of the 6 are very common. And I'll probably hold on to trades next year a little bit better, and maybe not use key forwards as cover, because that was just stupid. But I just had a feeling that maybe Cats would make finals and Jezza would go on a run of big scoring, which key forwards do. So that's the video. Thanks for watching all season. I really do appreciate the people that have still been supporting my content and watching no matter what, and leaving the likes and leaving comments. And there's quite a few regulars I do appreciate, like Liam and whatnot as well, that are very consistent in their comments. And I do miss the odd one, but it is hard sometimes because notifications won't always turn up when you need them to, and by the time it does, it's a little bit late. So that's the side going into it. Good luck, everyone. If you got any VCC options or any trades, chuck them in the comments. I'm sure you probably don't at this point. But yeah, just go for broke. Even chuck a late VC so you can have a look at the other scores and rounds and see what par is, especially with a lot of English owners and stuff like that as well. So that's the video. I'll catch you on a round review. I'll probably end up actually doing that Monday. Also, if you don't know, the new Fortnite version has come out today, and I'm looking forward to that. I know you're like, why is Brad into that? But, mate, it's actually been really addictive. Anyway, catch you on the next one. Don't know why I mentioned that. Cheers.